Yes, we will start straight away.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roberta. I thought I'd tonight talk a little bit about my process in my work, but if you get bored of me talking, think about this quote by Bill Viola in terms of how I like to approach my themes in my work. The first body of work I'm going to talk about tonight is from my first solo show at Tim Melville Gallery in 2008. This image is called Mother, and the idea behind this show was to have images that were singular, sort of like cinematic stills from a movie, and each one had their own narrative. Sometimes my ideas are really simple, and I know exactly what this feels like, walking on wet grass with socks, and so that's all I wanted to do with this image. But I hope that with this show there was a sense of an oscillation between melancholy and desire, so I love things that sway between one feeling and another. Sometimes with my work, the images come from a little bit of chance, and I've been working with this model for about 2 hours, and it was really tiring, and he was getting bored, and so I went to get him a glass of water from the kitchen and came back and found him slumped against the curtain with his goggles misted up, and I got the shot. Going back to where I started with this work, at uni I was mainly working with painting and sculpture, but in my last semester at university I picked up a camera and I took some photos, and this was an image that came out of that I really loved, but I have found that my sculpture background has influenced my work, and you'll see that. This is the image that I see every morning when I eat my porridge, and this influenced my next solo show at the Tim Melville Gallery last year. I staged all of my shots in my garden, which was great. This is another thing that influenced Idol, my show in 2009, and this is Rousseau, who is a painter in Paris, and he did paintings of the jungle, but actually never visited the place. He was inspired by photos and going to see the jungle and public gardens. I liked this idea of restricting yourself to something, and I found that really useful in these pictures that I did in Idol. I was photographing objects in my back garden, and I wanted these objects to glow with the light. It was nice being able to play with these objects in one space rather than feeling like I had to move somewhere else, and I could just pop outside if the moment was right. And I even used objects that were actually found in the garden. I wanted my objects to glow with light, but I also was interested in the series in talking about the cycle of life and the dense darkness of the undergrowth and life and death. This image was created by hiring 70 chairs for a week, and I played with them on the lawn, and I came up with this, which I entitled Couple. I had a show early this year at Stills Gallery in Sydney, and I created another suite of work using objects. My idea behind this was that I wanted to photograph black objects on a black background. Just as I was coming here tonight, I saw the moon. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but it was, you could see the dark side of it, which was being lit by the light. And I love that idea of an object glowing, because we only see things because light hits it, and I like that idea. This was a paper cup, and I created this to talk about perhaps a conversation that might have gone on. These are called Pear and rotten bananas, and I liked the forensic feel I started to get with these images, how they submerged and emerged from the darkness. I like that idea of painting something out from black as well in photography. This image is called Lace and was created using an army of snails, and I hope the SPCA isn't here tonight, but they nibbled away at it over time. And I also liked with this the idea of things going back into the earth after an event and the story that might tell. Currently I'm showing another suite of work at the Tim Melville Gallery at the moment called Tomorrow. I'm going to read my statement which I've written for this. I have a curiosity about youth, about young people and their heightened exploration of life. It is a hopeful exploration, without an immediate resolution or meaning, and I am interested in capturing them at moments between hope and unease, between promise and disaster. They carry the experimental nature of their existence so easily at this time. It is like an explosion, a moment of madness, which I think eventually dies or transforms into something very different. My intention for this work is that I wanted to take photos of young people that were dense and heavy with the battles of life, but I also wanted them to feel really hopeful, and I have a close nostalgia to this work. I'm not far from this time where you're on the cusp between adulthood and childhood, and even though I'm so close to that time, it does feel very nostalgic looking back at these pictures. So I hope you can go and see them at the gallery because they look totally different than they do, as most of you would know when viewing photographs. So I hope you can go along and have a look at them. Thank you.